close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm applying no pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse of who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch, that's saying enough. It's time to receive all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams, everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Any son of believing and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out thin air, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing out nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time of $1, so cut her eyes. They get exiled for they had the potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all out, Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
Some people love me, and they don't even know I have a hard time loving myself. Some people judge me, and they don't even know I have a hard time judging myself. Life gets ugly, but I got a paintbrush and paint a pretty smile on myself. Mouth stay shut even when I need help. In too deep in the water, Mike Phelps. Swimming lessons, I still got many unanswered questions. Sick of the anger, sick of depression. Wanna be grateful, count your blessings. Just give me my salad, you keep the dressing. Cause I'm cream of the crop, he paid the price, I'm worth a lot. He told me go, why would I stop? Rest on my thoughts, jump off the tire, D-Lo Brown with the frog splash. Leaps of faith, what I call that. If you hit my line for the old me, when I hang up on you, don't call back. I ain't gon' block my blessings, I'd rather block your number. Life taught me so many lessons, Been down bad, never under. That's breath in my lungs. Some people die young, where I come from. Woke up and gave thanks to Father and Son. Filled with the Spirit, I shine like the sun. Ghost in me, but I ain't haunted. Bad vibes, keep them, don't want it. Pride hard to swallow, doggone it. And you were really never my opponent. I'm fighting evil, man, they hearts black. They wanted my life, told them back. Got an itch for sin, can't scratch that. Keep the truth loaded in the black gap. Just know if I said it, I'm in it, and they gon' take it back. Learn the game brighter than my granddaddy's Cadillac. Young man, old song, imagine that. Ain't in my control, gotta pray, let them handle that. God hit my line, gave me the play. Roger that, game time, alright, you hate like a running back. If you ain't catch everything I said, better run it back. Eating up this beat, break bread, where your sandwich at, y'all? Thought I was done? No, this beat ain't like Kobe, I'm too full. My God, sick old mode, he too cold. I'm skating on beats, froze on with the flow.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. Guys, hang on. Let me raise my chair. I feel like a little kid. Hey, what's going on, guys? Give me 1 second here. But what is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning in to tonight's live stream. And, oh, my God, Bitcoin is dumping, guys. As we have gotten a move back to the upside, we are now starting to get a little bit more of a push to the downside. So, guys, what I'm actually going to do here, first off, smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, where you guys are going to have multiple chances to win some giveaways. But as we are getting some interesting price action on Bitcoin right now, I'm going to dive right into the charts right now, and then I'll come back to say what's up with chat, because we did just get a nice little push to the downside. So let's go ahead and jump right into the charts. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart here, a clean, fresh Bitcoin chart. And as you guys can see here, we did get this push to the upside. This really does feel really weird going straight into the TA, but I do want to make sure we cover this because it is starting to get a little bit of a push here. So as we got this move to the upside, guys, I'm going to do the full top-down analysis, but I kind of just want to cover this local price action because it's going to be pretty important, right? Because we are starting to get some volatility here. So what happened, right? Yesterday, what is today? Today's the 23rd. Yeah, yesterday, we got a move below that value area low before getting a push back to the upside, guys. And you will remember that we were looking at some very, very specific things on the charts yesterday that was helping us anticipate a move to the upside. So if you guys remember from yesterday, my sentiment as we signed off there was to watch out for this red dot, not only on the 8-hour, but also on the 6-hour, the 5-hour, even the 10-hour and 12-hour. We're looking to print that red dot. You did get it on the 10-hour, as you can see right here. 12-hour was able to skirt that red dot and just bounce off the 0 line. But you guys will remember, right? And again, the reason I want to go over this as it just played out, the reason I want to go over this, guys, is because we looked at this stuff yesterday. So my whole point here is to help you guys see what we look at on the live stream. And when it plays out, I love to go back and see what we did right, and I like to see what we did wrong. But that way you guys can actually see, like, hopefully, you get those light bulb moments where people are like, oh, he was saying that yesterday. And look, it did wind up playing out. And I'm not here to say that we're right 100% of the time. That is definitely not the case. I mean, if you watch the channel, you'll know we've been wrong before. But I do want to go ahead and cover this because as you guys can see, 8-hour red dot, I'll just put a vertical line on that. As we were getting that red dot on the 8-hour last night, we were expecting a potential further push to the downside. And again, on top of that 6-hour red dot and that 5-hour red dot as well. And what happened, right? We got that push to the downside, but as you guys know, we don't get super bearish at support. We talked about this last night. You don't want to get overly bearish when you're coming up against support, especially when it's a value area low, because we know that oftentimes with these value area ranges, you will deviate to the below the value area low before getting sucked back in towards that POC, right? And then you cling to that POC, and if you could continue to hold that level of support, which is your value area low, you would expect, to eventually get a move up back to the value area high, which is right where we are hanging out right now. So obviously, that 8-hour, 6-hour red dot, as well as the 10-hour red dot, did give us that big wick down, but we did eat it all right back up. And you guys will know, the specific pattern that we were looking for was a bullish divergence on the 8-hour, right? So we were saying, hey, if we can get that 8-hour bull div, once that green dot prints, that is likely going to indicate we could get a bigger move to the upside. Now, this is something that pops up on the charts very often, guys. We also had the 4-hour bullish divergence, which could have marked a significant bottom here, right? Could have, keyword, marked a significant bottom here, right? So, once you have that 4-hour red dot or 4-hour bullish divergence with your lower lows on your price action, just kind of in general, with your higher lows on your momentum waves, this could sometimes, especially if your money flow is coming up, could mark a significant bottom, right? But because of those 8, 10, and 12-hour red dots that we were getting, which obviously the 12-hour didn't confirm it, but once we started getting those red dots, that's where you want to start to be a little bit careful of a potential pullback before finally getting a bigger move up. And there we are. Where did we go, guys? Where did we go? Well, Creighton C, hopefully you're in chat. I think I did see you in there in the waiting room really quickly. But if you guys will realize here, shout out to Creighton C, once you get above your value area low, which obviously happened, well, technically it happened yesterday, right? But once you get a move above that value area and you're able to hold your value area low as support, that is where you are looking to get a move to the value area high. And then once you get above that value area high, you could expect to potentially get a move back down to your POC, which if we come down to the 15-minute, you can see here, this is, almost textbook volume profile stuff, right? Like, I love when this happens. You lose there you go. Shout out to Creighton C. POC. Let's get it, baby. You guys are too funny. Shout out to Wayne C. also coming in there. Captain Kirk dropping that POC. And shout out to the Boldest Crypto saying cop. I think he spelled it backwards, but that's okay. Or maybe he's saying the police are here. Oh, God. But yeah, guys, we talk about these volume profiles, and I want to talk a little bit about a couple other things as well, right? As we, even if you were not looking at what we looked at on the show yesterday, which again was the 8-hour bullish divergence, and I will just go ahead and mark that out for you, where you have lower lows on your price action. Now you had this, you really kind of had the bullish divergence on the wick here, but you have your lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, warranting that correction to the upside. But there were actually some things down here on the lower time frames that were pointing towards a potential bounce as well. And it all kind of started here at yesterday at about 5:30, right? Like where we were sitting on basically on the live stream, right? Saying, hey, that 8-hour dot might, continue to push us down. But what do we have going on here, right? As you approach, even if you're not paying attention to that 8-hour bull div, what do we have here? We have a volume profile range. And if you guys are new here, I don't know if we have any new people in here, but also, guys, shout out to everybody who was in that Crypto Banter stream, showing love, representing the Candle Mafia. I appreciate everybody for showing up. I got some DMs. People said, hey, good job on the show, Frankie. I appreciate you guys so much for showing out and letting the Banter fam, representing the Candle Mafia and letting the Banter fam know what's up. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys showing love, and we talked a lot about the volume profile, so if anybody is coming here from Crypto Banter, check this out, right? This is how we do it on the channel, right? We have this volume profile range, and for anybody new, I will just break this down very, very quickly, just because it just played out perfectly, right? So when you're looking at the value areas, right, simply all this is you are analyzing the volume that is transacted at every price, right? So you're typically used to seeing your volume bars on the bottom of your screen. They look something like this, right? You got some big bars, right? And then you get the little bars and the high bars, and you have your volume up here. And what that is doing is showing you volume by candle, right? So it tells you how much volume was transacted within that individual candle. But what the volume profile does is it analyzes the volume that was transacted at each individual price, right? So that's why the volume bars are on the side going out left to right rather than up and down. And what this does is it's able to help us not only does it help us get x-ray vision into the market and give us a good idea, or give us context is what I like to say. Not only does it give us context into what price is going to do next, but it also populates you with these 3 automatic key levels. So basically, the way the volume profile works, or what I like to call it as the law of the volume profile, is when you come down to your value area low and you're able to, a lot of times you will get a deviation from your value area low. But once you come down to either the value area low, right, or the value area high, you are typically going to be looking for shorts at your value area high, which is simply just key resistance, and then you're going to be looking for longs at the value area low. Now, it's not as simple as just longing the low and shorting the high, although it may appear that easy. But really the way I think about this stuff, guys, is once you are above that value area high, you could think of this as the asset being overbought, right? I almost said oversold. Overbought, right? So you can kind of think of this as, hey, we have, and this is considered an area of balance, right? That's why it's called a value area, because this is where price has found balance, right? People think this is a fair price for Bitcoin, right? Between 26,392 and about 25,767, people are basically in agreement for the most part that this, between these two levels, is a fair price for the asset. And then when you deviate above the range, right? When you deviate above this value area, you could think, hey, this is overbought. I would expect anytime that you deviate from your value area, you are, for the most part, going to be expecting to get sucked back into your value area, and more specifically towards your point of control. And your point of control is simply just the area where the most volume was transacted. So this essentially acts as a magnet for price. And that's why you'll see price actually stick to this level very, very often, right? A lot of times you'll see a bounce from the low back up to the high, but oftentimes you will see price kind of cling to that POC. And that is simply just because that is where there is the most interest in Bitcoin, right? That's where the most volume was transacted. So, with that being said, typically, when you go below the value area, this is where I am starting to look for longs, right? This is where everybody is super, super scared, thinking that Bitcoin's going to zero, but not the CandleMafia. The CandleMafia is simply looking for long setups here, and this was a long setup we were looking at in the premium Discord. Shout out to the kitchen. We were looking at this setup and did post it, I think, on Monday, I believe on Monday or maybe yesterday, to get in on some specific confirmations if we were to come down to this level. We got all the confirmations we were looking for, and then what are we looking for at that point? You're looking for price to come up, attack that value area low, flip it to support, boom, you got it right here. And once you hold that value area low as support, you are looking for price to move up towards your POC, which you guys can actually see. You come up to that point of control, you even get a reaction, you come back down, but eventually, again, you are expecting, once you hold that value area low as support, to go to your POC. I would expect some turbulence there, but eventually you're expecting to come up to your value area high. And then it's at that point where you're thinking, hey, am I getting any bearish confirmations here? Because if I deviate out of this range and we become overbought, that is where I would be looking for short signals to go back short, because what did I just say at the beginning of the stream? With the value areas, when you deviate away from the fair value for Bitcoin or the value area, this is where price wants to trade, right? This is where people have agreed this is a reasonable price for Bitcoin. So when you come above that level, you're expecting to get sucked back into your value area, and more specifically towards that point of control. And we saw it play out perfectly here, not only to the upside, but also the downside, right? So what are some local signals here that we could have seen to go long on the deviation of this value area low? Well, you had your momentum coming to the upside, right? You have low, higher low, higher low. Technically, this is a lower low from these, but you're still generally having your momentum coming up, making higher lows, right? So this is letting you know that momentum is coming back in, right? Momentum is coming up, but price action is price is just coming down. What does this tell us, right? Why is this important to understand, or why is this important to know, or to even look at, right? And I know divergences for a lot of people who are in the Candle Mafia is, we get it, divergences, Frankie, like we know what this is, but for anybody new, when you have price coming down and pushing lower, and you have your momentum coming up, this is a discrepancy between your price action and your momentum. And if you have price coming down, but your momentum's coming back up, you're thinking, why is price still going down? And oftentimes, this is what warrants a correction to the upside. Now, it's not as easy as just finding a bullish divergence and then just longing and hoping to come up, right? You have to find more confirmations. If you're using Market Cipher B, a lot of times I like to look for money flow coming up on something like a lower time frame. If we come down here to the 10-minute, you could see your money flow was indeed starting to come up. And even if you come down to the 5-minute, you could see as you put in this last bullish divergence, right? You also have on the 5-minute momentum coming up with your price action making lower lows, and on top of that, you have your money flow coming up, right? So sometimes, if you're looking at something like the 15-minute, sometimes, you'll get those bullish divergences, right? But money flow is not really coming up here if you were looking at this in real time. But what I like to do is go down to the lower time frames to kind of see what the lower time frame money flow is doing. But if I see that the 3-minute, right, you start on the 3-minute, right, money flow's crossing over into the green, right? What's the 5-minute doing? Okay, 5-minute money flow is starting to come up here, right? And then you can even go to the 7-minute money flow also coming up here. Well, hey, once you get that bullish divergence or that last little wick down, money flow is generally coming up here, and that is a decent confirmation. Now, we were looking at some other things on things like exo charts for some extra confirmation to get that bounce back up into this range. But those are just some simple things, right? I recommend I recommend that you guys go back and back test this, right? Like, because it's very, very accurate. And oftentimes, if you treat these value areas as not like gospel, right? Like you could see right here, you had a situation where you approach the value area low, right? You tap it, and you do have a bullish divergence here, right? You got a bull div, higher lows on your momentum waves, lower lows on your price, into your key level of support, which is your value area low. Oftentimes, guys, with these trades, just in general, with a range trade, whether you're using a typical range or a value area, typically you want to, if you're going long from the low, you want to go long, right? And then you want to take partial profits at the midpoint of the range. And in this case, the midpoint of the range is the POC. So if you get that move up, you might want to be looking to take some profit. What is going on with my voice right now? My voice just decided to take off early. But if you see here, let's say you went long at the value area low. We'll just say you caught the bottom of the wick. Oftentimes what I'll do, guys, or what a lot of people do, is you will take partial profits, right? Your first take profit is typically the middle of the range. Really, for the most part, guys, I like to see at least a 1% move before I take my first take profit, depending on the leverage I'm using or kind of the plan that I'm going into the trade with. But for the most part, for these scalps, I am looking for, guys, I don't know what is going on with my voice. Frankie's going through puberty. Let's go. Shout out to Joel. Hey, got to do it sometime, right? But continuing on here, a lot of times you want to take profit first TP at the midpoint of that range, and then you want to go ahead and assume that, again, once you hold that value area low as support, you are expecting to eventually get up to the value area high. But you can see it doesn't always happen. So that's why, when you use this trading strategy and you go long at the value area low, you get your first take profit at the POC, right? And then you move your stop loss to break even. Then it's basically a risk-free, guaranteed winning trade. It's the only way you can guarantee a win on a trade. First, you got to win a little bit and then lock in the profits, move your stop loss to break even, and then boom, you're guaranteed to win that trade. Because if you get stopped out, let's say you're holding it to the value area high, and this exact thing happens where you shoot up, but you don't actually make it to the value area high, and you wind up coming back down, and then you get stopped out once you hit your stop loss, but you got stopped out, number one, at break even, so you lose no money, and you already took profit, so you actually get stopped out in profit. And this is how this trading strategy can be such a high win rate, right? Because, it's not hard to get a 1% bounce from the low of the range into the POC. And more often than not, especially if you get a nice deviation like this, it's very, very common, not 100%, but it's more often than not that you do see price reclaim the value area low, hold it as support, and then rip for the high. And the same exact thing goes, and I know I talk about this all the time, guys, but especially for anybody new in here, it's important to kind of go over this stuff once in a while. What happens when you deviate away from your value area high? Well, what happened? We put in higher highs on our price action, and we put lower highs on our momentum waves. And what happened? We get the bearish divergence. We look for a move down to that value area high. Obviously, you want to expect some kind of a reaction off of that level because that can act as support, right? You can get that move down. You can get a big bounce. So it's important to realize that it doesn't play out 100% of the time, right? Because you might be thinking to yourself, well, hey, listen, Frankie Candles, I might not be an expert day trader, but I mean, I've been around Bitcoin, and I know that it doesn't just bing bong around in a sideways range forever. What happens when you leave that range? Well, obviously, you are going to leave this range at some point, right? Once you get up to this value area high, that's why the confirmations are so important, right? You can't just blindly short the value area high. You have to find more than one confirmation. But for this, you have a bearish divergence. Just looking at this locally, money flow started to come out on the 15-minute. If we went down to the 5-minute, you might be able to get an earlier signal. Yeah, you can see here, you even put in a 5-minute bearish divergence with money flow generally coming out. That might give you the idea that you want to potentially look for a short position. And where are you looking to target for this short position, right? Well, let's say we went short somewhere up here on the bear div, stop loss somewhere below these above these highs, right? Well, you could think to yourself, well, hey, I know that if we break below this value area high, right? If we break below here, we could get stuck back in this range. And then once that happens and we can't break above the value area high, we would expect price to go back down to the value area low. But you have to remember, if you get to that POC, you have to expect a reaction off of that POC because it's the strongest level within the range, right? It is the area where the most volume was transacted. Also acting as a magnet. So again, simply put, you deviate below the value areas, and it's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to come to these super chats in just a second. I just wanted to cover this quick price action. But, guys, like, you can't make this up. We look at these volume profiles constantly, and, it's like my religion at this point. We deviate below the value area low. We deviate below the value area low, and this is where you're thinking, hey, Bitcoin's probably a little bit oversold here because I know that it found balance up in these prices. And when you deviate, not only are you thinking of it as oversold, but you're also expecting to get sucked back into where price wants to trade. And where does price want to trade? Right here inside the value area. And so anytime you deviate to the low, you're expecting to potentially get sucked in back towards your value area because this is where price wants to trade. You expect turbulence at the POC, but as long as you hold the value area low, you're expecting to eventually, and I always say this, eventually, potentially, we look to get to the value area high. And oftentimes, I talk about this all the time. A lot of the time, I don't know why I said that word so many times. I can't get away from it, guys. But, when you're looking at this, it's typically very, very messy, right? Like, oftentimes, it's not this clean. We always talk about you look for a break above the value area, flip it to support, and then you look for the move up. But it doesn't always happen like that. Usually, you get a move up. Actually, this is kind of a good example. You bing bong around the POC, back to the low. A lot of times you'll come back to the POC. You'll bing bong around up here a little bit. But eventually, you look for that move up to the high. But lately, these things have just been getting respected very, very, very cleanly. And this is just a local range, guys. We do this in the macro too, which I'm about to go up to. Usually, we go from the macro down to the local price action. But with that little dump ski, I did just want to point out, like, guys, a lot of times you'll see, oh, my God, it's dumping. What's going on? What's going on? Well, what happened was simply we came out of the area of balance and Bitcoin naturally wants to go towards the value areas. And price is naturally attracted to those points of control. And locally, where's your highest volume node? Price is attracted to these high volume nodes. That's why the POC acts as a magnet because it's your highest volume node, right? So what happened here simply, right? A lot of people always say like, like, oh, dude, like, people like, oh my God, Bitcoin's dumping. And I'm like, yeah, go check the setup in the premium Discord. Like, we saw this coming, right? We just don't know when exactly it's going to happen, but we see it coming. And a lot of times, if it's based off news or something, you're able to see that technical signal way before the news breaks, right? Which you can imagine, if you can learn this stuff, it's pretty lucrative, right? So with that being said, just the power of the actual volume profiles is insane. So what happened? Simply, we were undervalued yesterday. We came back into our area of balance as expected. We held the value area low as support. Due to the laws of the volume profile, we expect to eventually get up to the value area high. It actually happened very quickly. This is like a textbook volume profile move. And then what happened? We got to push up. Oh my God, it's going to the moon. But we get some bearish confirmations, such as that bearish divergence, amongst other things. I want to hammer home that you really need to have more than just one confirmation, right? You want to have multiple confirmations. However, you become overvalued now. You're thinking this as overbought, and you're expecting, hey, again, not blindly expecting price to come back in, but you're saying, hey, we're above the value area. Let me start looking for bearish confirmations because my general immediate thesis is that we will get sucked back in towards that POC. So simply put, that's what happened here, right? We became undervalued, put in the bullish confirmations, bing bong, right to the value area high, deviation, opposite confirmations, sucked back into the value area. And right now, we are looking at the possibility of getting accepted back into this value area. Now, it doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to live underneath here and come to the low. That's why it's very important. It's not that easy to just long and short these levels. I know a lot of people, especially if you're new, may be able to look at this and be like, oh, that's easy. When we get down here, I'll long, and when we get up here, I'll short. And it's not necessarily that easy. It's all about the confirmations because we can moon out of here, and then things look really bullish, and then we take off. And if we do take off, where are we going to go? We're going to hunt out another area of balance. I'm going to get to that in a second. But what we're looking at here, right? Let's analyze some of these higher time frames. Let's look at the 1 hour, right? 1 hour, money flow coming up on the 1 hour. VWAP starting to round back up. Let's check the 4 hour. 4 hour starting to cool off a little bit here. Take a look at the 45-minute. Yeah, 45-minute fresh red dot. Money flow generally coming up. But when you're looking at what you're looking at here, guys, is it's not just, hey, we broke this level short, right? It's not that easy. But what you're looking at is to get stuck underneath this level, right? So if we break below this level, right, and things look bearish and we cannot get back above this value area high, that is then where you are looking to get a move to your POC, right? But you're not necessarily looking for the short here. You're looking for the short on the deviation where you're overbought, right, outside of the actual value area, right? This is the value area. So just a little quick and dirty on anybody who's new. This is how we do it, right? And it's for a very good reason. And you guys will see as we continue the analysis here, we do this on the higher time frames as well. And yes, it is just as accurate. So let's go ahead and move on. I just wanted to cover, we kind of just really just nuked out of nowhere here. So I just wanted to cover that to give you guys these key levels. If we get stuck under here, we could expect to at least get a move down to that POC, right? But, if we start playing around with this level, right, we kind of bing bong around, and we get back on top of it and things start to look bullish, right? Maybe the 1 hour money flow crosses over into the green. That's where you're looking to maybe leave this value area. And where's the next likely place for price to go if we leave this value area? Well, let's go to the 1 hour. And like I said, price likes to hunt out these areas of balance, right? Well, where's our next area of balance? Well, the last one we were looking at was right about here before we lost that area of balance and found this new area of balance, right? Is this all making sense to you? And if we get a move up here, we talked about this on the stream many times the past week or since Monday. If we wind up continuing to come up here, what do? We look left. We find out where those other value areas are above us and where price might seek to go hang out in another area of balance. And the next major area of balance that I would kind of see here is we may be able to come back up and revisit this upper range up here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pull up our actual live stream chart and take a look at the levels that we have been watching. So let me go ahead and pull up our actual, is it the Bybit chart? Bitstamp chart. Bear with me. Let's see, is it group 1? Where is, oh my God. All right. Well, we'll draw the levels fresh. We'll do it fresh. We'll do it live. All right. Actually, yeah, this is let me cover chat real quick, guys, and then we'll go over the key levels to the upside. You can see we are starting to approach one of those very, very, very key levels that we were looking at on the live stream. And then we'll break down this bigger value area, right? Because just like we expected on that lower time frame that we just went over, when you go from the deviate from the low of the range and you go back to the high of the range, you can see that was in this tiny little volume profile down here. But you can also do the same thing on these bigger volume profiles. Am I blowing the top off trading? Like, I don't know. I don't know if, like, other traders and other maybe some gatekeepers are watching me being like, dude, don't tell them this. But we're here to give it all away, guys. But you can see you do the same exact thing on a higher time frame. This is all applicable to all different time frames, any time frame. You deviate from the low. You do not get overly bearish. You look for your bullish confirmations, and you look for acceptance back into the range, and then you look to come up towards your POC and your value area high. What happens when you deviate from the range? You bing-bong around here, and you're expecting to eventually get sucked back in towards your POC and potentially your value area low, and that's how we were able to predict this move to the downside. I would love to take credit and tell people that, I got these levels, and I knew this was all going to happen because I do the best TA, and you have to watch me to get that analysis. But really what I do here is I just show you guys exactly how to do it. And I hope you come hang out with the Candle Mafia because you appreciate the free education, and we're just a lit community, or the Mafia is a lit community, and you like to hang out with us. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to regret giving this all away, and everyone's just going to use me for all I'm worth, and I'm going to be laying down on the side of the road, all dried up. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. I also don't know what's going on with my voice. But, oh, my God. Let's go ahead and jump into chat, guys, because we had to jump right into that price action as it started getting volatile. But right after we say what's up to chat, I'm going to go ahead and go over those key levels to the upside, which you guys can kind of see on my chart right now. But thank you all for tuning in. Welcome to the Frankie Candles YouTube channel and the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And no, I'm not on anything, guys. I just drink Aztec and Cactus Moss water. That's where the energy comes from. But yeah, let me go over some of these super chats. I don't want to leave the super chats hanging. Oh my God, you guys are super chatting like nuts right now. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said great stream with Sheldino. Hashtag best stream ever. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. I think you guys are the reason, why he decided to have us on. I asked you guys to go blow up his comments, and I don't know. I mean, I've met him before in Miami, but it just so happened that they reached out right after I told you guys to go hit him up. And, you guys must have blown him up. I love that, and I really do appreciate it. But, yeah, we had a great time. We were talking about volume profiles, as usual, just doing some of the best analysis I could to try to help out the Banter fam. And they seem like a really cool community. Shelton's the man. Shout out to Ran. And, hopefully Tony D's in the talks with them about getting him on our show. We don't have a date yet, but he said he would do it. So that's going to be a killer collab. But shout out to Daddy Zach. Says, hey, Frankie, if you get time, can you go over how to find a short squeeze again? Thanks for all you do. You were great on Banter. Hey, thanks, bro. Shout out to Daddy Zach. I appreciate you. And yes, I will show you mods. If you could share the link to my how to spot a short squeeze video, I think it's like how to trade with the whales. I believe it was posted in April. When we were on the cruise, the BitBoy Crypto Cruise. So if you guys could share that link, if you can find it. But Daddy Zach, I will go over it in real time as well. But yeah, definitely check out that because I go more in depth than I will be able to do on the live stream. But we will cover it for you very quickly. Shout out to Daddy Zach. Dave Digital said, Rob, please stop telling people it's your birthday. Grow up. Shout out to Dave Digital. Just always breaking the Mafia's chops. I love it. Shout out to Rob. It is his birthday today. As it is his birthday every single day. And thank you for everything you do for the channel, Rob. Guys, show our mods some love in the chat. They make my life so much easier than it used to be. And they are absolute legends, and I appreciate them endlessly. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to maybe Band-Aid for gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's dead. Or empty. But yeah, shout out to maybe Band-Aid, bro. Thank you for gifting those memberships. Always showing love to the Mafia. Shout out to Cheeks as well. Always gifting those memberships. Shout out to everybody who won a membership. Go ahead and try out those new emojis in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to Slacky. Said, someone in chat tell me how to gift memberships, please. All I see is super stickers and super chats. I'm sure that question was answered. I couldn't answer that. I could show you how to spot a short squeeze on the charts. I can't tell you how to send gifts. I'm sorry. But shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. I'm sure someone already helped you. I like your little Zoidberg profile picture. Thank you very much for being here. Dave Digital said, what day is Sheldon coming over? We're going to have a play date sometime soon. We're working on it, Dave. We will be the first people to let you know. Tony D will call you personally and let you know when he's coming. Shout out to Dave Digital. As always, thank you for the super chat, bro. Always showing support. I love it. Shout out to KE. I did not realize we had this many super chats, guys. It's lit today in the CandleMafia live stream. Shout out to KE. Says, love the content. Thoughts on BTC direction with NVIDIA beating earnings. I could try to talk about that a little bit. I don't know how much that's going to affect Bitcoin, to be 100% honest. Just not really something that I generally look at to gauge what Bitcoin's doing. Shout out to NVIDIA, not only for the stock movement, but also for my graphics card, which is going to get upgraded very soon. If you tuned into the stream last night, you'll know why. But yeah, shout out to KE. I appreciate you for loving the content. And yeah, I'll just give you my thoughts right now. I don't really look at... yeah, okay, so, I didn't read the rest of that. I'm sorry. For potential push for SPX. We'll get into that in a second. I will look at the I'll look at the SPX and we'll kind of do some TA and I'll give you my thoughts on that. Thank you for the super chat. Slacky, welcome to the muscle. I guess you figured out how to get that membership. Let's go. Maybe a Band-Aid said, not my inhaler. Guys, I thought I had one on my desk. It's not my inhaler. It's Mrs. Candles. I swear. Her name's on it. Not really, but neither is mine. But anyway, shout out to maybe a Band-Aid. I appreciate you. And Dave Digital said, you will never know Dave Digital behind the scenes. Dave, you're my neighbor, dude. Of course I know you behind the scenes. Shout out to Dave Digital. I appreciate you, bro. But those are the super chats, guys. I had to catch up with everybody. Thank you all for being here. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. I'm kidding. We already did that, guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Where can Bitcoin go if this bounce does continue? And again, we were looking for this bounce. Remember, we were looking at this value area low, this macro value area low. I'll get rid of this one so it's not confusing. We were looking at this macro value area low as a key level of support if we did get a breakdown. Now, we didn't expect this breakdown to happen instantly to the value area low, but nonetheless, it moved down there, and we did hold support. And a lot of people were very, very worried about a big move down here. But what are we looking for? We are looking for those bullish confirmations at the value area low. And if you hold that value area low as support, you could begin your journey up towards not only the POC, but potentially the value area high. Now, that doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to get up there. And I would actually argue that we may not, potentially, we may not be able to get up there for a couple of reasons. And we're going to go over that right now. First level of major resistance, in my opinion, is $27,102. This is not only a local golden pocket, but you also have your 200-day moving average within this area. Now, obviously, that 200-day moving average does move, so it will not be in the exact same spot, and never mind. It is in the exact same spot. So not only do we have the golden pocket, but we also have the 200-day moving average and the 786 Fibonacci retracement level. And this is kind of the first fib that I am looking at for a potential push back down to the lower prices. And again, not only because these golden pockets are oftentimes places where lower highs come in, but also your 200-day moving average is likely going to give you some serious resistance up there. Now, what happens if we get above that? Well, thank God for the volume profile, because if you get above this level and we crack this 786 and we don't get any bearish confirmations in here to go short, we could potentially get a bigger move up. And where is that next level of support resistance going to be? Well, when you hold support on the value area low, you're looking to go to the POC first and then eventually get to your value area high. Now, the tricky part here is we have two points of control. We have one on the Bybit chart that is coming in at about $28,000 even. And I will be taking this into account. And you guys will know, like, I don't normally put POCs from other exchanges' charts on another chart. And the reason for that is because most of the time they're pretty aligned. But number two is the fact that this POC is also at a very, very key psychological level of resistance, right? $28,000. You get that psychological level, that nice, even $28,000. A lot of people like to set limit orders there, a lot of retail. So, you know, I am going to take that into consideration. So, two targets if we break above this 786. And it's going to be the $28,000 POC from the Bybit chart, as well as the POC on the Bitstamp chart, which is right here at about $29,255, right? So again, nothing really crazy is happening right now. We got the bullish confirmations at the value area low. We held it as support. And now we could be beginning our journey up to the POC, which the first one would be 28K. And then, the second one would be, again, $29,270. And I kind of combined this value area high and this POC into one level of resistance because they are very close to each other. So that's just likely what is to happen, right? It's not guaranteed because, again, you have to remember 200-day moving average, local Fibonacci retracement levels. This could be where the lower high comes in. But in my opinion, I will say, I'm not guaranteeing that we can get up there. I don't never guarantee anything because I can't do that, right? Like this TA can get stepped on, right? And that's just the nature of the game. But one thing is this golden pocket. One thing I will say, this golden pocket right here is going to be, I would say this golden pocket right up here in this POC is a better place or more likely place to put in a lower high on the higher time frames, right? So maybe, if we come up to, we're on the daily, we come up here, reject this level, could be a more likely place to put in a good top and continue down. But you just have to be aware of these other levels, right? There's no telling if we're going to reject this level, or this level. But one thing that is true is that these are definitely strong levels. And really specifically, this area of confluence is pretty strong. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to get respected, but, it is definitely a higher likelihood that it is respected heavily. So those are the next key levels to the upside. Maybe we looked at these levels. But again, guys, I want to simplify things for you guys. Shout out to Darren Does Things. I'll get to that in just a second, which is I will get to that in a second. Shout out to Darren Does Things. But I will say, just to break things down, things don't have to be complicated when it comes to TA. Like for me, it's the volume profile. It is the light in the market for me. It's my 550,000 lumen flashlight for me in the markets, right? And that is just the volume profile. It doesn't mean that if you don't look at the profiles that you're wrong or what you do doesn't work. It doesn't mean that what you work does work. Whatever you do does whatever you do works better. It's really what clicks with you, right? Because we talked about this on the Crypto Banter show today. Sheldon was talking about a lot of levels that I was also looking at. But Sheldon was coming to these levels in completely different ways, using completely different techniques. So that's why I always say you have to use what works for you, because what my eyes like to see and what makes sense to me may not make sense to other people, right? And it doesn't make one of us right or wrong. As long as you're doing the TA correctly, it really doesn't matter what type of TA you're doing. If you're looking at fib levels, oftentimes you could see they line up with the value area high in the POC, right? So, it's not that. And again, like this Fibonacci retracement level, also the 200-day moving average. Some people might not even know that this fib is there. Some people might not know that the 200-day moving average is there, but they might still be looking at the same level. And I want to be very clear. One is not wrong and one is not right. It's really what you want to see. And like I said, as long as you're doing whatever analysis or techniques you're using, as long as you're doing the techniques correctly, it's really what you prefer, right? And for me, the volume profiles is just overpowered, right? And obviously you guys know that. So, or at least know that I believe that. So there we go. Those are the key levels to the upside that I'm looking at, guys. If we continue to pump, I would start to expect some serious resistance within this purple box, right? And then if we continue up, you're simply just zooming out, looking at this as a big volume profile range, and then you just go by the laws of the volume profile, right? If we don't get rejected by this level, probably going towards that POC. If we get above that POC, we're probably going for the value area high / other POC, right? And then what happens if we deviate above that? Well, it's the same old song and dance, right? You look for your bearish confirmations up here for a potential revisit back into the range. And again, no guarantees that you're going to get that move up above the range, but no guarantees you get up there. But if you do, and you find those bearish confirmations, it is going to be more likely than not. Again, not just come up to the value area high and instantly look for the move down, but if you do the analysis, assess the situation when you get there, and if it looks bearish, you can expect to get sucked back in towards that value area low and POC. So there you go, guys. Those are the levels I'm looking at to the upside if we continue to pump. And really, it's just going according to plan. This is what we talked about yesterday. Watch out for a little wick to the downside or a little more downside. And then look, if we hold support, right, and you get the confirmations, look for the 8-hour bull div, and that could start our move up deeper into the larger range. So there you go. Those are the key levels we're looking at to the upside, and that is what I am feeling on Bitcoin. And again, just continuing the analysis here, 4-hour money flow starting to creep up here. 2-hour money flow looking to cross over into the green, right? And again, it doesn't mean an instant rip to the upside, but the money flow indicates the longer-term trend, right? And then the VWAP, this white wave, indicates the ebbs and the flows, right? The noise in the market, as I like to call it, right? Shout out to Market Cypher. But you can see here, right? If I turn everything off, let me go ahead, and I might break some people's brains right now in a good way. If I turn everything off, let's turn the momentum waves off, let's turn the money flow off, and we'll just look here. We'll even turn off the green and red dots, and we'll just look at this VWAP, right? I'm going to put a dot, or I'm going to put a vertical line over all the VWAP crossovers, right? So we got a cross to the upside, cross to the downside, another cross to the downside, a cross to the upside, a cross to the downside, and a cross to the upside. Shout out to Slacky, says BLZ not slowing down after smashing weekly resistance. Is there a reasonable downside target at this point, or are we mooning God knows where from a new range? 50 million market cap is a little scary. Shout out to Slacky. We will take a look at BLZ mods. If you could just mark that down so I don't forget, we will take a look at BLZ for you tonight. But I do just want to point out here, guys, for the most part, these VWAP crossovers indicate noise in the market or ebbs and flows, not trends, but just the short-term pushes up and down, the noise in the market. Because I know we all like to pretend that, you know, when you watch those TikTok videos and they're like, look at this, guys, market moves so simply. You have a low, a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? But it's not that easy, right? The market doesn't just move like that. The market actually moves like this, right? You have the major or swing structure, right? But inside of those moves, you have more ebbs and flows, right? So you have this whole move to the upside, say on the 4-hour, is on a lower time frame, is going to consist of many ups and downs, right? Same thing with the move down, many ups and downs on that move to the downside. So the market really moves like this, right? You have a major low, high, right? You get internal structure, right? And then you have the more macro structure, right? It's much more messy. So you have to be prepared for that, right? And this is why I like Market Cypher B so much. And it's the fact that the VWAP indicates those ebbs and flows, right? So right here, you have a cross to the upside, little push up, right? Right here, cross to the downside, little push down. Right here, another cross to the downside, little push down. Then you have a cross to the upside, push up, push to the downside, move down, push to the upside, move up, right? You see the crossover into the above the zero line gives you the move up, and that's your ebbs and flows. And it's kind of hard to say it here because we're kind of just ranging around, but the money flow indicates the trend, and I'm going to break your brain even further here. Now, if I bring back Market Cypher B, right, and I turn off everything except for the money flow, you can see here, the money flow generally indicates the trend. This is why we were looking for more downside when we were in this sideways range. Because look at not only the 2-hour money flow, but come up to the daily. Well, daily was kind of bing-bonging. Let's look at the 2-day, right? 2-day money flow was crossing over into the red all the way up here. This is why we were looking to get accepted back into this range and get a move to the value area low. It's because the higher time frame money flow was coming to the downside, indicating that the longer-term trend was going to come down. Right? So the money flow indicates the longer term trend, and the VWAP indicates those ebbs and flows. And if you can get your thumb on the pulse of how that works, it can be extremely lucrative, right? Because you'll know that not every little pump to the upside is going to be a massive move. Because if your money flow is disagreeing with your VWAP, right? Like let's look at this right here, right? You might see a green dot on Market Cypher. Right, but money flow is freshly crossed into the red here. So you're not expecting this to be a giant move up. You're simply looking for it to be a lackluster move up to put in a lower high to continue your trend to the downside. And again, you're looking to have the trend continue down because of the way money flow is going, right? Money flow is coming out. So that indicates the trend, but within this trend, you have many down, up, 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 right? So the money flow indicates the trend. The white VWAP, right? Or if you have the stock, the default settings, it'll be yellow, indicates all that noise in the market, right? So that's how I interpret Market Cypher. And I just want to break that down because it's a huge part of the analysis, right? So there you go. That's what we're looking at on Bitcoin, guys, for the most part. Those are the key levels, and that's, how we've been looking for these moves, right? So going to continue to look at the market in these ways, and we'll see if we get to push up into this level of resistance. Don't know if we're going to get all the way up there, but if we do, we will definitely be looking for a pretty strong rejection. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our altcoins. Go ahead and spam your altcoins. If you want to see us take a look at it, go ahead and spam your altcoins right now. And, shout out to Shane. Shane, we're going to go ahead and take a look at BLZ, no problem. But yeah, go ahead and spam your altcoins right now, and we will go ahead and take a look at them. Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let us know what coins we're looking at, and then I'll look at them. So here we go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada boom. Shout out to Scott. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Shout out to Scott. We won him over. Shout out to Scott. We love you, bro. We love you. You've been here for a while, bro. That chat makes it seem like you haven't been here for a while, but you have been here for a while. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. And that does mean a lot. And I'm not reading it out loud because I don't want to put anyone else down. I don't want to feel like, yes. But I do appreciate that. That means a lot to me, man. That's like so cool, man. We got the best community. We really do. Darren does things. Dang, man. I accidentally scrolled and lost that chat that I wanted to read. Something about false limits or something. I was actually curious to what that said, but I don't want to spend too much time looking for it. I wish I didn't scroll. But shout out to Darren Does Things. I'm actually curious to see what you think about that. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the chat. All right, BLZ first. Thank you, Chemistry Bro. First off, I want to take a look at the SPX. Let's see. Bada boom. Okay. All right. Actually, you know what? We'll look at the SPY. Okay, so here we are. So we are getting a little, here's the thing. We are getting a little bit of a bounce on the SPY, right? We have some key levels down here. I'll actually make this a blue box. Bada boom, right? I'm going to make it blue for support, right? We came down. We got a somewhat of a significant bounce here. However, when you analyze it using Market Cipher, I will say money flow is generally coming out here on your 12-hour. Money flow is generally coming out, right? As you came down to support, you did print that green dot. This could push us a little higher, I would say, but money flow, fresh crossover on the 5-hour. 4-hour money flow, freshly crossed over into the red, and even locally, it is coming out more aggressively. You can see we crossed into the red, fake out back into the green. This could be where you turn into a much bigger red wave, something like this, potentially, where you're going to have much more downside as that red wave develops. Even if we come up to some of the higher time frames, 16-hour is generally coming out with your money flow, and your daily also coming out with your money flow, right? Taking a look at the weekly money flow, not looking as bad, but I will say this is, big green wave, tiny little red wave. This could be like somewhat of a extended fake out into the green. But too soon to tell there. But I will say this, on the daily, the 16-hour, a lot of these higher hourly time frames, as well as medium hourly time frames, money flow is coming out, which would indicate that the longer-term trend is likely to continue down, right? So I wouldn't, that question about NVIDIA and the SPY getting a big bounce, I would say as far as the Market Cipher B and just the general analysis here, I don't see anything that looks primed for like the biggest pump ever or even really a significant pump. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but really as far as what I like to look at, most things in the medium to longer term, or medium term I should say, I don't want to say it's pointing to the downside because it's not like any alarming signals are popping up, but there's nothing like it doesn't look primed for a massive move up, right? It's not like your money flow is curving to the upside. It's actually all coming out. So I would lean a little bit more bearish in the medium term, but hey, anything can happen. Keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at, I do want to take a look at Ethereum really, really quickly before we continue on. Let's see. Shout out to Slacky for gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. And Crypto and Yogurt not only joining the muscle, once again, I'm pretty sure he was already in the muscle, but also gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships for everybody else. Sharing the wealth. Shout out to Crypto and Yogurt, one of our other big gifters on the channel. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I really do appreciate you. And Slacky just out here showing love. I love it. And Cheeks too. Shout out to Cheeks. All types of Cheeks. Anyway. Face cheeks, never mind. Anyway, continuing on here, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Let's see. We'll take a look at the Coinbase chart, and here we are, right? Woo, baby. Really, really slipping that door to lower prices. I mean, you can see when you get below this level, it's like, whoop, it wants to go down. It wants to go down. That's why we have this labeled as the door to lower prices. Slipped it all the way down to about 1540, came back up, slipped it again. That door to lower prices is a slippery slope, guys. It is a very slippery slope. But what do we have going on here? Guys, shout out to the volume profile. Shout out to the volume profile. Take a look at the 1 hour. Money flow generally coming up. So looking very similar to Bitcoin, right? When we looked at ETH yesterday, we were basically looking like, look out for the 8-hour bull div, right? Same thing as Bitcoin, right? And then you print that 8-hour bull div, and then bang, you come right to the upside. And again, for anybody who's new, lower lows on your price with momentum making higher lows, you get that pinch point, I call it, right? It's like a pinch point. If you extended these lines, they would eventually intersect. That is what we call bullish divergence, with price going down, momentum coming up. And you're thinking, well, hey, if momentum's coming up, shouldn't price be going up? And that's what warrants the correction, right? To the upside in this case, right? So looking for that 8-hour bull div, almost the same exact thing that we were looking at on Bitcoin. And what happened here? Let me find the exact time. Yesterday was the 22nd at about so yeah, it's somewhere between these two candles. We can go to the 1 hour. So right here, 5. Yeah, so we were like right on these two candles here as we deviated not only below this value area, but we also deviated below the macro value area, right? Well, we are massively deviated from that level. So actually that's irrelevant. But we are below our local value area low, right? We lose the range. But what happened down here? I mean, even on the 1 hour, you can argue that this is a bullish divergence. Now, this is kind of a wonky one because it happened so quickly, but you have generally higher lows on your price action, higher lows, lower lows, right? That's a bullish divergence on the 1 hour, right? And then we got a bing bong right up back above that value area low. What happened? You get and again, I don't want anyone thinking that you can just long random bull divs, right? Now, I was not in an ETH trade. We were in this almost exact same trade on Bitcoin, but there was much more confirmation that went into it other than just seeing a bullish divergence, right? But I'm not going to get into all that right now, but you get a 1 hour bull div, right? If we come down to the lower time frames, you are going to have that same thing. 24-minute bullish divergence right there, right? Lower lows, higher lows. Boom. At that point, you're looking for a move back above your value area low. And what happened? You come up, get a little resistance on the value area low, come up, bing bong around. I had to refine that value area low. You get a rejection, back up, hold it as support. At this point, you're looking for a move up to the value area high. Double tap it. You might have gotten a bear div here. I don't know. Yeah, you got a bearish divergence to the wicks here. And again, I don't want people thinking you could just blindly trade. Shout out to Dave Digital. I will talk about that in a second. Shout out to Dave Digital. First ever monthly blood diamond on ETH. We will talk about it. Higher highs on your price action, deviation away from your value area high, lower highs on your momentum waves. Again, you want to pair this with other confirmations. But hey, I don't recommend just trading this based off of the divergences. But over the examples that I've been looking at, it's all played out, right? But I don't want to encourage anyone to just trade based off of that. It'd be very dangerous, right? You want more than one confirmation. But you did get that bearish divergence. You're expecting to come down to where? Creighton C, Dave Digital, Wayne C, Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. Once you get a bearish confirmation at the top of your value area high, or the top of your value area, which is the value area high, where are you looking down to? Well, yes. Shout out to Jen. Shout out to Black Sales. Shout out to everybody. Everybody's coming in here. Mr. Blake saying, cop. You're going straight to That's right, the POC, which is this purple line right here. And guys, where did price go to? You can't make it up. You come up, higher high, lower high. And again, I don't want people thinking this is just going to work every time. There's more confirmation that goes into when I actually trade this. But where are you looking to go? Straight to the POC. And look at the respect on the POC as we're getting the bounce right now. Look at the POC getting respected. Put some respect on my name. Not my name, the POC's name. You know what I'm saying. But there you go, guys. That is, that's what we would have expected, right? We would have expected to move up to the value area high, and then, this happened very quickly, but we would have expected to move to the POC and potentially the value area low, right? But now looking at the lower time frames, 24-minute VWAP is rolling back up. We may be able to get a push back up towards these levels, right? But I would be careful. Let's check the higher time frames. Yeah, 3-hour VWAP cooling off, 2-hour VWAP looking for a red dot, right? But money flow is coming up, right? So that would make us anticipate a potential continued trend to the upside, right? Money flow is coming up. This would indicate that the trend may continue to the upside. And we'll talk about the levels of resistance in a second. But with that being said, VWAP is coming down. But remember, the VWAP only indicates the ebbs and the flows, right? So sure, this red dot on the 2-hour can make you anticipate another push to the downside, but because money flow is coming up, you would expect it to be a lackluster push down before putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside, right? So there you go. That's kind of what I would look for on Ethereum. I would be kind of looking for some consolidation here as that 2-hour red dot is looking to print. 3 and 4-hour red dots, not as close, but still looking to print them at some point pretty soon. And yeah, so I would look for a push down. And one of those levels I would look for that higher low to come in at would be, I don't know if you're going to come all the way back down that low. But yeah, I would look as of right now, POC as your support. As long as you hold above this value area low, I would look to potentially continue up here based off of the lower time frame and medium time frame money flow. Now, what if we get a big move up? Well, because of the way money flow looks on the higher time frames, right? The 2-hour money flow is about to cross over into the green, but you have to separate your long term from your short term. The 2-hour is a low time frame compared to something like the 2-day or the 3-day, right? So 2-hour money flow would indicate a 2-hour trend, call it, right? Which would be a decent trend to the upside, but not like a 2-day trend to the upside. So this would make me think that the trend is continuing up. But if you go to something like the 2-day or the 3-day, where our money flow just crossed over into the red, I would anticipate any significant bounce that we get, right? Not the little bounce we just got, but a significant bounce when that 2-hour money flow winds up crossing into the green big time, right? If it does, and we get a bigger move up. In the grand scheme of things, what I would be looking for, sure, locally, this would be a decent trend, but because of the high time frame money flow coming out, I would expect this decent trend on the 2-hour to wind up just being a lower high on something like the 2-day, right? Hopefully this is making sense. I don't want to confuse too many people because time frames get a little bit tricky. But if we continue up here, first level of resistance I would be looking at is going to be at this first purple box between 1733 and about 1750, right? And if we populate our levels here, why is this a significant level? Well, number one, it's the value area low of our previous range that we were trading in, as well as let me go see. Where's our 200-day? Yeah, 200-day moving average is above that level. But for the most part, it is the value area low of that previous range. And a lot of times, price will either come up and reject that value area low before coming lower, or sometimes you could even shoot up for that POC before continuing lower as well. So level number one is going to be between 1740 and 1750. For those reasons, I'm not going to really beat a dead horse there. I think I kind of hammered that home already. 786 coming in at about 1789. This would be, where is this? Oh, this fib is just drawn? Oh, yeah. Let me see where this fib came from. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so you also have a local golden pocket at this level as well, right? That's another reason why this will be a strong level. But Yeah, that would definitely be the first level I'd be looking at. And then this 786, I'm actually going to move up to here. This level coming in at about $1,800 even. Remember, oftentimes those lower highs come in at a golden pocket or a 786 retracement level. And not only is your 786 sitting at $1,800, which is also a psychological level of resistance, however, you are also probably getting pretty close to the value area low of this previous range, right? Yeah, that's where this level came from. So 786 at about 1,800 will be another big place to look for a rejection for the reasons I just mentioned. And then your next key level that I would be looking at would be here between about 1,840 and 1,870, which is simply the POC of the range, right, to keep it simple. And then if you get above that, you're simply looking at the high of the range, right? So I know that sounds complicated with all these different levels, but simply put, if this pump continues, first major area of resistance that I would be looking at is simply going to be this golden pocket value area low. And then if we start getting above that value area low, you're thinking to yourself, based off the laws of the volume profile, hey, we might start our journey if we hold support here to our POC, which is right here at about 1,870. And eventually, we might be able to make it up to that value area high at about 1925. Great year to be alive. So there you go. There's Ethereum, and basically exactly what I'm looking at. Again, nothing has really changed. We're just seeing what we were looking for yesterday starting to play out, and now we're just sitting on our hands waiting for those levels to get hit. And then that's where you would look for your confirmations to potentially enter a trade, right? You don't want to be entering a trade all willy-nilly at these random areas, right? You want to wait till you get to a significant level, or as I like to call it, your trap, right? You want to set your trap, your key levels, and just sit on your hands. Wait for price to come into your trap. Why are you going to try to catch these trades that don't really exist? Wait for it to come into a key level of resistance or a key level of support before looking for your confirmations. And hey, even if you're at one of these purple boxes or blue boxes, you're at a key level, if you don't get the confirmations, wait for the next level and wait for the next level to get hit with multiple confirmations and take the higher probability trade. Guys, sometimes the best trade to be in is no trade, right? Sometimes the best trade is no trade. Don't overtrade your account to zero, right? So, don't forget to smash that like button, guys, if you like babies and puppies and kittens. Jessica said I like puppies and kittens, and I say if you like puppies and kittens, smash that like button, so I'll just go ahead and take advantage of that. Shout out to Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. Too funny. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. You guys are killing me right now in the chat. You guys are funny. All right, let's see. Red Elephants had already overtraded to zero. Let's go. Shout out to Red Elephant. Crypto Man said, chugging that sauce, baby. Let's go. I hope I'm bringing you guys some value. If you guys are getting any kind of value or even entertainment out of this live stream, go ahead and smash that like button or hit me with a hashtag value in chat. Do we have a hashtag value emoji for the members? If we don't, we got to get on that. Yeah. Okay, so Creators Crypto, thank you for reminding me about that. Let's see. There we go. Hashtag value. Let's go. Shout out to French Toaster. But here we go. Let's take a look at that monthly red dot. I'm going to clean up the TA here and just take a look at the red dot on the monthly, or worse, the blood diamond, right? One thing to realize here, guys, is going to be hashtag value. Let's go. Hashtag value pack. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. He's entertaining. Shout out to Jerry Long. My favorite type of long position. Anyway, shout out to Jerry. But the thing with these blood diamonds here, we're getting down to the wire. If we don't wind up getting a big push up on Ethereum in the next few days, specifically the next 8 days and 2 hours, if I'm being 100% specific. Thank you, Rob. I got your pinned comment. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. The man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, some would say. Rob the Crypto Snob. Let's go. If we don't start getting going here in 8 days and 2 hours, guys, and this blood diamond confirms, this would be pretty alarming, right? Now, this is the first, at least on the Coinbase chart, this would be the first monthly blood diamond that we've ever seen on Ethereum. And I do just want to point back to the weekly blood diamond on Bitcoin. This was the first weekly blood diamond on Bitcoin, at least on the Bitstamp chart, right? And what happened? Like, we were looking at this in the beginning when I started my channel all the way back in the day, which is crazy to say now. But we saw this weekly blood diamond, and we had never seen that before. And that was a very, 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 very concerning thing, right? And this was one of the first big things I really laid into on my channel because I've used Market Cypher for years, even before I had my YouTube channel, and I know the blood diamonds were nothing to mess with. And when I saw it pop up on the weekly, and I was doing the analysis, and I saw the money flow coming out on the weekly with the bearish divergence at the top, this was a very alarming sign, and I really leaned into this because I thought it was going to be a very, very big problem for the market, right? Because not only did we have money flow coming out on the weekly, we also had the blood diamond, obviously. We also had some bearish signals up here. And on top of that, as far as a cycle perspective, we were essentially coming up to the end of the bull market when it comes to the cycle, right? Just time-wise. It was about we had enough time that went by to finish out that entire bull market, right? And it was about time to start coming down into a bear market. And I leaned into this, specifically on the BitBoy Crypto channel. I talked about it a lot on his on the BitBoy channel, right? And I got roasted, guys. I got roasted. It was my first taste of hate. And people came at my throat. People were so mad at me. And I'm like, guys, I'm just bringing the information. I didn't make the blood diamond. I mean, I just pointed it out. And they all, it was the first time I ever got attacked online. And look what happened. It wound up indeed being a very big problem. And that just goes to show you the emotion that flows in the crypto space and any financial market, right? You just get people who are emotional about trading and emotional about investing, and they'll just call you an idiot because you're showing them something that goes against what they want to happen. But what they fail to realize, which it's not a bad thing, and I'm not putting hate towards these people, but hopefully these people see this and learn. Right? Hopefully someone's watching this that was, throwing hate at me, seeing this blood diamond, and the hate's fine, right? I'm on the internet. I'm going to get hate. But, it's the this guy's a moron. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. Screw this guy. This is going to 100K. And it's like, sometimes you got to be realistic and just like kind of rip the Band-Aid off and be like, guys, like you want to hold this thing all the way to the bottom. And a lot of those people that didn't try to get out of their positions or sell what they had left. And not that you should ever do that because there's a blood diamond. You shouldn't just randomly sell based off of that. But like those people who were not getting out of the market that thought this thing was going to 100K got absolutely trapped into the bottom. These people are still holding their bag that they bought all the way back here and back here. Well, a lot of those people are very inexperienced, so they probably brought like somewhere up here. But and again, I'm not throwing hate. I'm just being, that's the reality of the situation is typically the new people buy the top, right? I've done it before. I'm not throwing hate at all, right? Like if you're new in crypto, like most people, their first year in crypto, in its short lifespan, they buy the top the first time they get in, right? And like I've done that before. I'm not throwing hate at all. But I do this to teach you guys so the Candle Mafia doesn't make these same mistakes. We don't use our emotion, right? We just take the information that's displayed on the chart and we make the best possible decisions while taking both situations into account, the bear case and the bull case. But those people got trapped, right? And, with that same thing, coming back over to Ethereum, right? Monthly blood diamond, if this confirms, it's going to be pretty bearish, right? But, here's the thing. With the point of the cycle that we're in right now, if we get some kind of a black swan event, shout out to AZTV. No way. AZTV said, that was me, Frankie. I doubted it. And I was going to say, there's no way, dude, AZTV, there's no way you're hating on us. I just don't think you're that kind of person. But you just doubted it, which is fine, right? Like I said, you should never just see someone say something, say something. Shout out to the, anyway. But yeah, like, not that you should just, hear someone say something on YouTube and take it as gospel. But in the same way you don't want to just automatically take something and run with it that someone says without doing your own research, you also don't want to just discount someone because it goes against your beliefs, right? But AZTV said, yeah, I doubted it. What'd they say? Where'd it go? AZTV. That was me, Frankie. I doubted it, and I got wrecked longing 33 to 34K. Doquan Luna scam was at that time. Yeah, absolutely. And AZTV, the fact that you're still here and you didn't get wrecked and was like, screw crypto, I'm out. The fact that you're still here says not only a lot about your success that you're, in my opinion, likely to find just in the next bull market just because you stuck it through, but it also says a lot about how serious you take this, and it says a lot about your character. And it takes a certain type of person to make it in trading, and it's the type of person that can get smacked in the face like you said you did and still show up to learn and better yourself. And even just having the wherewithal to notice the mistake and not ignore the mistake is one of the biggest things, right? So shout out to AZTV. I have my crystal ball says you're probably going to do good in the next bull run, just based off of that character trait, right? But let's continue on here. Yeah, shout out to Nabil, said I was among the new flock of sheep that came in at the top. Nabil, no shame in that, because the important thing is that you came here and you're staying, and now you're in, hopefully, at the bottom right now, right? In the grand scheme of things, right? So there's no shame in that, right? I was a sheep that came in and bought the top at some point too, right? And it doesn't even have to be at the bull market. Like, you could just be at a coin, right? Like, everyone, you have to start somewhere. And for crypto and trading, it's the people that come in, get pushed out, and then they just like push their way back in. They're like, nah, I'm not done with this. I'm coming back in. And it says a lot about you guys. It says a lot about the people that watch this channel. I'm proud of the people that watch this channel, because I could tell by the questions you guys ask in chat. I could tell by the things you guys say that you're here to learn and actually take this seriously, not just come in for the fad and hopefully this guy tells me when to buy and sell and I'll just be able to easily make $1 million. Like, you guys are the ones that are going to make it. You guys are the ones that are going to be laughing at the new people that come in at the top. And again, there's no hate at those people, but it's just like one of those moments where it's like, I remember when I was doing that. And if you could stick with it, it's one of the most rewarding things ever. So shout out to the Mafia. I mean, it just goes to show a lot about, hey, Affinity Tumbling with the $50 super chat, but no chat, just a super tip. Shout out to Affinity Tumbling. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. And I will say this. If you meant to put a message there and somehow it didn't go through, please don't super chat again. I appreciate that $50 super chat. It's not a little bit of money, right? So thank you for that. If you did accidentally mess that up, please just send a free chat, and mods, if you could see Affinity Tumbling's chat, if they didn't they did make that mistake. I don't want them to spend extra money. Just send a free chat, and if the mods can highlight it for me, I'll read it. But if not, thanks for the tip, bro. I really do appreciate you. Yeah, AZTV said, gotta get wrecked to learn how to not get wrecked. McDonald's avoided. Yes. Yeah, I've dodged McDonald's a couple times. Very, very barely. Chemistry Bro says, I bought Litecoin at the exact top to like the hour in 2017, then held it to 2021, swapped it for ETH, and made NFT gains this cycle. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Everybody's got like the most unique way that they navigated crypto. It's really funny. But shout out to Chemistry Bro. Yeah, it's like so I've bought tops too, right? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I was an expert right from the beginning, right? I've bought tops before where I was like, dang, like there was a point where I wasn't shorting, right? I would only long the market or just buy and hold, and I would think like, man, I bought the top so good, I wish I could buy bottoms like that. And then your career progresses and you start actually taking it seriously. You realize that learn how to trade, and then you realize that you can make money when the price goes down, and you're like, hey, I just spent the first year of trading buying the top. I think I'm going to be good at the shorting thing. And when you short the top, you don't lose your money. You make your money. And that's why we have this channel here for you guys. So shout out to the CandleMafia. You guys really are really just not only a special community, but a special breed of people. So yeah, shout out to you guys. You guys are really the goats. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Best crypto community ever. Shout out to Melissa. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. But yeah, this monthly red dot, guys, or monthly blood diamond would be somewhat concerning to me, right? So if this confirms in 8 days and 1 hour, unless we get some kind of crazy pump here, this might confirm. So just remember, it's got to confirm. It hasn't confirmed yet. But if this does, it will be very concerning and could lead to some more downside. However, the one thing I want you guys to realize is, like, here's the thing. If we get a black swan event, guys, before the halving or near the halving, like, guys, I'm going to throw the charts out the window and just be like, the price action of Bitcoin is programmed, right? And I say that lightheartedly, right? I say that as a joke. But if we get some kind of black swan that dips us almost back to the bottom, but not quite, and then we rip off, and then we wind up like kind of bing-bonging around and then getting the halving, the Bitcoin halving, obviously not the ETH halving, but the Bitcoin halving happens, right? And then everything launches up into a bull market. If we get some kind of a black swan here, guys, it's like someone's pulling the strings, right? Like this is definitely like, it'll turn me into a conspiracy theorist. But anyway, But yeah, I would be very concerned about this, but I am going to wait for it to confirm. But we'll see. If we can get some kind of crazy pump here, we might be able to get it to go away. But other than that, definitely concerning. Definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. And then you could see here, you can't make it up. If we go to Bitcoin, where did we get the only Bitcoin monthly blood diamond? Right on this candle here. What happened on this candle, guys? Well, it was a black swan, right? So maybe we see something happen like that. Could be. Not a guarantee, right? Could be. Simply, you get the monthly blood diamond. It's kind of foreshadowing a black swan event, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like we can predict events in the world. I will say, if we get a black swan before the halving, Frankie Candles literally has ESP. He can literally predict the future by looking at crypto charts. I can look at the crypto chart and tell you when the next, crazy thing in the world is going to happen. I can't do that, but if that happens, what I just said, it could be possible. I'd be questioning myself, like, okay, Frank, like, let's take a week off, dude. You have something? You got some special power? What's going on? I don't think it'll happen, but I'm just saying. Monthly, and then we go to the Bitcoin chart. Where's the only monthly blood diamond? Right on that. What happened here? Right, we were all locked in our house. This is March 2020, right? And did it send us to zero? No, it actually put us in to not only put in a higher low, but put a higher low in right on our 786 Fibonacci retracement level, right? Or not, but we close the candle. If you go to the weekly, you close the candle right on that 786 retracement level, right? That's why I don't really pay attention to the news, guys. Like, you just trade the chart, right? Like, oh my God, like if you're pulling your fib, right? If we're in bar replay mode, right? And we're getting a bear market rally, let the trading view catch up here, right? Come on, trading view, you got it. There we go. It's a computer thing, not a trading view thing. And it just didn't want to. Oh, okay. The bar replay mode just didn't want to go. We'll try that one more time. There we go. Second time's a charm. So we're in a bear market rally, right? And we're just like, oh my God, it's going to the moon. It's going to the moon, right? And like I'm going to prove right now that like the news. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news, right? Like I'm not saying I can predict the future or anyone can predict the future with TA, but I'm just saying like it's not necessarily that important to pay attention to what the actual story is because the signs are on the chart. The movement, the indications that the price is going to move is on the chart. Insert whatever it comes out like, right? Like at a bear market, you inevitably get tons of bearish FUD, right? All this bad stuff happens. Right, like it happens every 4 years, right? So like, is it? You could see it on the chart. Like what? We're gonna go into this in a second. But let's say you're in that bear market rally, right? And we're pumping up, right? You pump. What would we hit? 14K, right? Obviously, you don't know where the top is gonna be, but once you wind up seeing some kind of a big move down or a significant move down, like right here, I can already tell you. What's going on here? You have a very, very slight, but it's there, bearish divergence with lower highs on your momentum waves, higher highs on your price action. And again, just to double check that these are actually higher highs, it is indeed high, higher high, right? That is a diagonal line. So that would be kind of warning sign number one, bearish divergence. That would be kind of letting me know, hey, this pump might be over, right? And then also you're probably coming up to some kind of significant level of resistance. Maybe it's a golden pocket from the high to the low. Well. You tap the macro golden pocket. Obviously, we knew that was there. We look at that a lot. But in real time, you could see this stuff, right? Like, oh my God, we're tapping the golden pocket. This might just be a giant retracement. And what happens at these golden pockets, oftentimes, you get a lower high to come in before continuing down. Not always to a lower low, but sometimes to a lower low. But you have the bearish divergence. You tap the macro golden pocket. You may be thinking to yourself, well, hey, this might be the end of the pump. Where can I expect price to crash down to? This is the sauce, guys. We're giving away the sauce. Get your to-go containers, right? Clip this and rewatch it, please. This is free information, right? And I'm happy to give it to you. Well, where am I expecting price to potentially crash down to? Where would the retracement level be? Let's pull it from the bear market low all the way up here to the top of this bear market rally. So this is my retracement zone. First level would be the golden pocket at about 72 to 6,800, right? If we don't hold that, I would be looking down to that 786. And what happens, right? We'll just kind of fast forward here. Boom. You start to get that move to the downside, right? Not surprising because you have the bearish divergence and you hit key resistance, right? Nothing too unpredictable. You get the bounce off the golden pocket. This could be the bounce, but we don't know, right? And then what happens? You wind up getting that monthly blood diamond, right? And then you get a bigger move down. Holding on for dear life on that golden pocket. I wish I could make this go faster, but it is literally as fast as it goes. Okay, boom. What happened here? Let me extend the, all I'm doing is extending these lines right. I'm not moving any levels, right? We're just extending it to the right. What happened here? Well, hey, we lost the golden pocket. We wicked below the 786, but you closed that weekly candle on the 786. At this point, you're thinking to yourself, this could be a 786 retracement. And this might have been that might have been the bottom of the dump, right? Because you might have just been coming down for a retracement. Was seeing this bearish divergence or pulling this golden pocket letting us know that there was going to be some kind of crazy, scary thing in March of 2020 that was going to happen? Absolutely not. There's no way to be able to figure that out. But if you're looking down to that 786 for price to go down there and you have a monthly blood diamond and you're thinking, hey, if this thing dumps, I'd be looking at that 786 for support. Insert news here. That news was March 2020. I don't want to say it out loud, right? I don't want to get kicked off YouTube or shadow banned, right? And boom, it gives you that big move down, right? So you could kind of see these things coming, right? Did we get this big move down because there was a crazy news event? Or did we get this move down because we hit a macro golden pocket and we were going for the retracement? And I'm not here to argue that that the charts can predict what's going to happen in the world. I'm just here to ask the question, what's going on here, right? Like, does anyone else see this? Like, what is this? Absolutely insane, right? And when it comes down to it, guys, the charts are basically just charting people's emotions is how you can think of the chart. It's just a historical chart of emotion. And but there you go, right? And again, I know I spent a little bit of time on that, but the reason is because we could be in a very similar situation right now, right? And if we do wind up getting that monthly blood diamond, right? And again, just to show it, that monthly blood diamond right here, that bear dip was right here. We expected to move down. Boom. Blood diamond pushed it to the 786. And if we're going to be in a similar situation with Ethereum, let's pull it up one more time. If we're in a similar situation with Ethereum where that monthly blood diamond is going to give you a big push down, maybe there's some kind of a scary story, right? Like, it's not going to dump because there's a red blood diamond on the chart. The chart doesn't know there's a blood diamond there, right? Like, and not everyone knows what market cipher is, right? So it's not like everyone's dumping the price because there's a blood diamond. But this could be, all I'm saying is if we get some kind of a black swan event here, guys, no need to ever look at the news ever again, right? The blood diamond was here. And like, what helps price dump? Really, really bad news. So if you get some kind of really bad news, could you predict the future by looking at the charts? Maybe not always, but I'm just here to ask the questions. It's a little bit sus. I'm just going to say it. But you know what? We might not get a black swan event, obviously, but definitely going to be waiting for this to confirm in the next 8 days. Let's go ahead and move on to BLZ. I know everybody wants to see that, but I just wanted to cover that, guys. It's really important stuff. It really is. I know, like, going back in time may not be like, I know everybody just wants to know, is it going up or down? I don't blame you, but it's really important to go back and look at this stuff because I've gone through all this stuff in real time, right? When the actual market was there, I remember what it felt like back then, which is important, right? Because you're going to feel the same things. And if I've ever gone back and tracked what I felt before and what that has helped me do is understand that almost every time that I've bought a bottom, I felt like I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Every bottom I buy, which isn't every bottom, you know, I'm very selective with the bottoms I buy. Or the bottoms I grab, you know what I'm saying? But if, every bottom I've ever bought felt like the worst decision of my life. And anytime I've ever sold the top of something, it felt like the stupidest decision ever. When I buy the bottoms, I'm like, I'm so dumb. This thing's going to dump as soon as I buy it. And then I buy it, and I'm like, oh, God, I caught the bottom. And then when I take profit, I'm like, oh, God, this thing's going to go to $1 bazillion right after I sell it, right? And these are just emotions. I do not let them I don't let them affect my decisions anymore, right? When I first started years ago, I would let it affect my decisions. I make the same mistake everyone else made. That's why I'm here to help you guys expedite your process. Like, learn through my mistakes. I made the mistakes, so you don't have to, right? So, if there's one thing I've learned, buying bottoms and selling, taking profit at the top, both feel like the worst decisions you'll ever make. But it's not until hindsight that you're going to be able to look back and be like, oh, wow, I bought that bottom. I remember how scary that felt. So next time you feel like, oh, I'm not buying this thing's going to zero, you might get the little extra push to maybe just go in. You got to buy it at some point, right? So anyway, that rant is over. Let's get back to crypto. Well, let's get back to BLZ and pull up the MEXC chart. This thing is going berserk. Just continuously creeping out here. And let me just see if there's another chart that I can take a look at that might have a little more price action. Probably not. All right, so let's have a slight bit more price action. So taking a look at the daily here, here's the thing. Yeah, man, this thing is just going up and up and up, playing red dot, green dot on the daily. I remember last time we looked at this, I don't know if it was this red dot or this red dot, but we were looking at, these red dots looking for a cool-off, which they do wind up giving you moves down, but this thing just marching its way up. This price action looks very suspicious to me. VWAP, I mean, you got to be careful with these altcoins, guys. A lot of times, the altcoins will just go berserk. But VWAP on the 4-day starting to roll back over. Weekly VWAP also starting to roll back over. Again, not necessarily indicating a giant dump, but remember the VWAPs indicate the ebbs and flows in the market. So I would expect some kind of a cool-off here at some point. Looking at the red dot on the weekly, VWAP on the 4-day cooling off, 3-day VWAP also cooling off, 2-day VWAP looking for a red dot, daily printing the red dot. You may start cooling off here. Now, your money flow is generally coming out on the daily as well. That would be a good sign for a cool-off. In addition to all that, I mean, you're printing. You don't have a daily bear div, but you have a confirmed 16-hour bear div. You have a confirmed printing plus confirmed bearish divergences here on your 12-hour. Right? Like, this thing's only going to creep up with momentum coming out for so long before the floor falls out and it winds up getting the correction it needs. 8-hour bearish divergences printing. Money flow looking strong, though. So I would be careful with the shorts on this. A lot of times what you want to see, and we'll analyze the lower time frames, you want to see the money flow coming out to kind of give you the confirmation. Typically, when money flow is coming out, remember these red dots, even if you have a divergence with money flow coming up thick in the green like this, sometimes they do just wind up being short corrections before getting another push up. So I would be careful here because of the way the money flow looks on the 8-hour, with the shorts at least. Now you're coming over to the 6-hour. Now you're starting to get, same thing. You got the bearish divergences, higher highs, lower highs, and your money flow is starting to teeter out here. This is starting to look a little bit better for short opportunities, right? 5-hour money flow also, divergences are printing. Money flow generally coming out. You can see that you are generally getting lower highs in here. Kind of hard to see, but you are getting it. Taking a look at the 4-hour. Yeah, confirmed bearish divergence. Money flow definitely coming out on the 4-hour. This is a good sign that you may be able to cool off, right? Because, again, you had a bearish divergence right here. Let me just redraw this. You had a bearish divergence from this high to this high. Like this, lower highs on your momentum waves, but money flow was coming up at the time, right? So that wouldn't be a great short opportunity. But now you have multiple confirmed bearish divergences here, as well as money flow cruising to the downside pretty aggressively here, right? So this is a little bit better. So with the confirmed bear divs, as well as a lot of these fresh bearish divergences on the higher time frames like the 12-hour, even just the red dots that are fresh, plus the daily red dot, no divergence, but the fresh red dot could cool you off. So I would be on short watch for BLZ. But I would just be careful because, again, these altcoins can be very, very tricky to short, especially the new ones that are just going ballistic, right? You also have, just looking at this, this could be identified as somewhat of a wonky rising wedge. If you kind of draw these lines a little bit cleaner, right? Just kind of coiling up as you move up. A lot of times these do break to the downside. Not a big pattern guy, but something I would just kind of take a look at. Yeah, let's go ahead and come down to something like the 30-minute. Let me pull a wider range here. It's kind of hard. Kind of got wonky. We'll try to take a look at this as a range, but yeah, it's just super, super wonky range. I don't know if I would really trust these levels just because that range is very, very sketchy looking. Let me go ahead and pull another one right here. You got your high, value area high, POC, value area low. So if you do cool off, if you do wind up cooling off, I would be watching these levels. And again, I don't think it's impossible to cool off here. Yeah, these are kind of the levels I would look to cool off. If we do get a move down, right? And typically how I would do this is I would come down to a lower time frame, find a range, and find a local entry into a position, right? So what I would be looking for here is bearish divergences on a lower time frame. Maybe you're deviating from the value area, finding short confirmations, looking for a small scalp in hopes that that 12-hour bear dip, that daily red dot that we all just looked at, is going to back you up and make that, somewhat of a scalp trade, maybe from a high to a value area low locally. And then maybe, you get that breakdown out of nowhere and those higher time frames kind of show face and push you down lower. You do have some decent confirmation here. Golden pocket value area high. This would be a level I would be looking at for a potential bounce if you get a significant cool-off. These two levels would be the major levels I would look for, but be careful of the local levels as well, right? You might get another one of these kind of short cool-offs before bouncing up higher. But again, the way the 4-hour money flow is looking, even the 1-hour money flow, it could be possible. I think you do kind of bing-bong around up here, but eventually you will roll over. So those are the key levels I would look at. Again, this is 12 cents, the local value area low. That would be a key level to potentially look for a bounce. But if you break down below this range, I would be looking really towards these bigger levels at about 10.5 cents. So there you go. There's BLZ. And again, it does look like things are starting to look like they want to cool off. But again, the altcoins can be very volatile, especially when they're in big moves like this. A lot of times they do want to shoot for those last little pumps to the upside. But I am definitely going to say this. I am on short watch for BLZ, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Shout out to Crimson's girlfriend, said time to drive. See you guys later. BTC squeezed up. Oh, yeah, there you go. Getting above that value area high, right? And this is what we're doing. Now, what I would be careful here with Bitcoin, yes, you're back above the value area high. 1 hour, 30-minute green dot looking to print. Money flow coming up. One thing I would be careful of here is if you're looking at this as a potential, you got to hold the value area low as support, right? I don't want anyone thinking once you break this, it's instant moon time because we may be going in for a local retracement from the high to the low. So really for me to expect more upside for Bitcoin without getting sucked back in towards this POC is we got to get above this 786, coming in at $26,083. Come on, $84, right? So if we keep pushing up, what I would like to see for more upside on Bitcoin is I would like to see a push up. I would look for potential rejections at this level, right, to potentially put in a lower high. But if we get above this 786, that would indicate to me that we're probably time for more upside, right? But you got to be careful locally here, especially with your 2, 3, and 4-hour red dots looking to print. We got to be careful of a little bit of a cool off, right? If we wind up coming in here, putting in a lower high and coming back down to the POC, it's not all over, right? It's not that we flipped completely bare, but we might just be going in to put in a higher low before continuing back to the upside. And, I would be looking at this local fib retracement level to the downside. Look at that, 786 POC confluence right here. So kind of your long bounce zone would be on this fib retracement level, right, or zone, right? So if we do come up here, put in a lower high, and come down here, everyone's going to be like, fake pump, fake pump. But we could put in a higher low here. We want to remember that money flow is coming up on a lot of these time frames, indicating we could get a bigger trend to the upside. So this is kind of what I would look for. Listen, there's no guarantees that we can, call the price action exactly as it's going to happen. But I would be careful because of the way the VWAPs look on the medium hourly time frames for a rejection here. If we get that rejection and we come back into the value area, I'm not looking for zero. I'm looking for a retracement into the golden pocket 786 POC confluence, which is this blue box. For anyone at home that wants to write down the levels, 26,186 to 26,000. We come down there, we could put in a higher low and get a bigger move up. So there you go. We gotta hold above that POC, that value area high, and hold it as support. And we just got to be careful on this level right here. Okay, shout out to Zach50. Hey, bro, you got a 5-0? Let's go. Shout out to you. Said, can you do TA on Adam? I got here late. If you went over Adam already, can you do a quick recap? Well, shout out to Zach. I appreciate the super chat. And yes, we will go ahead and take a look at this is, let's see, what else do we got? We got BLZ, XRP, Quant, Subicast. How are we doing on time? Oh, baby, we're running low on time, guys. I know I went on some rants today, but they were important rants, and I hope I was able to, if not inform people, at least entertain them, but at least, help you realize something about yourself or help you in some way, shape, or form navigate this crazy thing that is the crypto market. It's a very hard thing. But let's go ahead and see if we can continue on here. I'm probably going to I'll do Atom, and then we're probably going to have to push some of these to, we'll push, I'm going to do Atom and XRP, and then let's push everything else to tomorrow's stream. Hopefully we don't get as quick price action in the beginning of the stream so we can do a regular stream. But I think a lot of that stuff was really important. So let's go ahead and continue on to Atom. Let's see, Binance. Yeah, bull div printed on your 16-hour. Just looking at this, I would say. Pull the range. Oh, price go up. Anyway, I don't know what that was, guys. But anyway, yeah, I mean, here, what do we got going on, right? What do we got going on? Analyze the situation. This is kind of a wonky range, but we were kind of just bing-bonging up here, lost this level, came down. We are now outside of our value area. Now, this is not the cleanest value area. I will be 100% 100% honest with you. Not the cleanest range here, but nonetheless, a area of value. And we deviated below that range. Shout out to the Blood Diamonds, Nuke. Shout out to the Blood Diamonds, Nuke, right? Shout out to the Blood Diamond, right? Very few times do they give you nothing, right? Oftentimes they will give you a little something to the downside. But, lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, giving you that bullish divergence, which typically does warrant a move to the upside. Now, with that being said, let's pull up the VPVR, or the VRVP for the people who want to say it correctly, but VPVR just sounds way better. But I will just say this. Pretty decent volume gap right about here between about 808 and the value area low at 837. So I'm actually going to highlight that as a white box from the value area low to about 809, right? I'm going to turn it white, and that is for a low volume gap. If we get back within this box, I would look for a quick move up to the value area low. And to be 100% honest with you, the highest volume node is all the way up here at 926. Not impossible to come up and test this level. Because remember, even if we continue down, which could be a hypothesis, based on your higher time frame money flow, not as bad as Bitcoin, I'll be honest. The money flow on the higher time frames looks much better on Atom than it does on Bitcoin. But if you wind up coming up here, obviously price is going to be attracted to those high volume nodes, right? The high volume nodes act as magnets, more specifically the POCs, because the POCs are just the area where the most volume was transacted. But if we get a move up here on Atom, I would look for a potential push up into that white box, ending at the value area low. 200 period moving average on the 4-hour at least is coming in at that value area low for decent confluence. But at that point, you do have a pretty big shelf in volume here. So I would expect pretty good resistance at that level at about 842 or about 840. So I would kind of look at this as a big rejection level. However, if we pull our golden pocket from the high to the low, you can see that real rejection zone, that 786 golden pocket retracement zone that we look at for those lower highs to come in. You can see, where does that come in at? Well. Coincidentally, it's right in the middle, or the high volume node is right in the middle of these two levels. So there is a likely spot here to put in a lower high at that golden pocket 786, but it is also in perfect confluence with that golden pocket, with that POC, which again acts as a magnet for price. So if we see a continued pump here, and I would definitely watch this as an area of rejection. I don't know if we're going to get back up to that golden pocket 786, and I would even, just to make this a little simpler looking, I would actually look at this as the level, right? Between about 929 and 896. But if you get a move up here, and you can get above that value area low, I'd look for a shot up to that golden pocket POC before looking for a bigger move to the downside. But for Atom, if this was Bitcoin, I would be looking for a strong rejection to come down and potentially come to lower lows. But With Adam, the money flow looks a little better on the higher time frame, so I would actually reassess the situation once we got up there. But that's what I would look for. These are the key levels that I would be looking for at rejections at, and kind of what I would expect. Because with that, 2 hour, where was it? Was it a 4 hour? 4 hour bullish divergence confirmed. Your 5 hour bull div confirmed. Money flow coming up. 8 hour bull div is confirmed. Your 10 hour and confirmed bull div, and that 12 hour bull div is printing. So, and that's why I love the volume profiles, guys. It really does give you insight into where, or context into where price is likely to go next, right? So there you go, right? Low volume gaps, typically price moves quickly through, right? That's why I'm looking for a probably quick move through this white box, and even through here. It's not really a gap, but there's more volume up here than down here, so price is going to be gravitated towards that high volume node. So there you guys go. Shout out to Cryptic Sniper. Cryptic Sniper said, me too, lol, the crypto market has been so boring that I almost turned to stocks. Yeah, I almost turned to watching paint dry for fun, to be honest with you. Shout out to Cryptic Sniper. Appreciate you guys for being here. But let's continue on here. Shout out to Jerry Long said, are you not edutained? That's for the OGs. If you guys don't know what that is and you're like, what is this crazy guy screaming at? That was for the OGs. But guys, I think I'm going to take a quick look at XRP because I know it's another hot one that everyone wants to see. But this is, let me pull up the live stream chart. Pull up that XRP chart. Where is it at? There she is. Okay. So obviously we looked at XRP yesterday. And what did we say yesterday? We were looking at nothing really that exciting happening as long as we remain below this level, right? As long as we remain below the value area high on XRP, I am not expecting any crazy moves, right? What happened? We broke below the value area high, right? And what would we expect? We would expect to go to the POC or the value area low. What happened? Obviously, this was a massive nuke. So we just kind of whoop straight down to the value area low. But what happened after that? We held support. Where did we go next? Simply put, you bounce off the value area low, you go right back to the value area high. Now we're rejecting the value area high, so we have to be prepared to potentially, if we can't get back above this level, look to return to the POC or the value area low. And until the levels are broken to the downside or the upside, I wouldn't be looking for upside till we break about 50, more specifically, I would want to get above the 786 at about 56 cents. And I wouldn't be looking for more downside until we broke this level here at about 42 cents. Other than that, just looking for this range to be respected until we break out or break down. And that's just simply put, guys. I don't want to overcomplicate it. But, doing further analysis here on the lower time frames, money flow coming up on your 3 hour, 2 hour, also crossing over into the green, could be indicating an uptrend starting here. But just nothing too decisive just yet. Taking a look at our daily. Daily VWAP is just kind of hanging out, right? Just kind of lackluster, bing-bonging around sideways. So when there's really nothing screaming up or down on the indicators, we simply turn our sights to the key levels. And again, 54 to 56 cents is the doorway to higher prices. The higher prices being around 62 cents. And then the doorway to lower prices is going to be 41 cents. But until any of these levels get broken, I'm not really looking for anything crazy as I don't see anything really setting up. You don't even really have a bullish divergence here on the 4 hour. So, money flow is generally coming up, but just really no signals for a massive move here coming in the next day or so. So I will keep that one simple on XRP. But again, if you lose this key level, doorway to lower prices, you're simply looking to get back into this area of balance. And then these 3 levels are likely to be respected, and you could even find balance down there again, right? So it's just a game of finding your volume profiles, right? You lose this range, you're probably going to enter this range. That range will likely get respected with these levels, right? Until you break back up, and then you might get accepted back into this range, right? And you could do this all day long, right? If you break out of this range, you might enter this range. Fun thing about this range is it's massive. So if you get accepted into this range, you're looking to go to that POC and then that value area high, which comes in at $1.28, which we're obviously very far away from. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. Pull up this Bitstamp chart real quick. And I do just want to show you guys, I will just, when something works, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So if we look here, just to prove, not prove, but just to kind of show you guys that these levels are respected, even if they're, these levels were pulled from all the way back here. In May of 2022, I pulled this volume profile on this area of balance. Simply put, I don't want to confuse people. Simply put, it's just sideways price action. I analyze that volume. I get the key level range high, value area high, the POC, and the value area low. And we extrapolate those levels into the future, and they are simply respected just as they were in May of 2022. You break above the value area low, you go to the POC, and then the value area high. If you can't get back above the value area high, you're looking to come back to the POC, and then back to the value area low. And then if you lose this value area low, you're simply looking to a lower area of balance or a more macro range, which is exactly what we were doing. Pull that macro range. So at that point, you're expecting if you lose this level, you're probably going to go to the value area low, and price simply just teleported. So, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I'm so sorry we had to cut the altcoins not short, but I had to fill it in with some Bitcoin sauce as well as some volume profile sauce just because we saw it all play out live right there. And everything we were looking at yesterday was essentially playing out today. And it's not that that happens 100% of the time. It's just that when it does happen, I want to reinforce what we were looking at and why we are seeing the price action we're witnessing. So let's go ahead and pull up that wheel of pain and pleasure. If you guys have not smashed that like button, go ahead and smack it, slap it, elbow it, headbutt it, touch it with your butt. Kiss it, lick it. I don't really care. I'm not going to watch what you do to it, but just touch it somehow. Just make sure it gets pressed in and lit up. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go ahead and hit this. Let's see how many likes we got. 435 likes. That's not 550, but like I said, I can't complain because we've been giving away a lot of stuff recently, and my piggy bank is empty. So I'm trying to fill it back up so we can continue to just give away stuff on the channel. So maybe don't hit the like button. I'm kidding. I'm using reverse psychology, guys. But no, for real, guys, it is the easiest and most free, intrusive way to support the channel, right? If you find any kind of value or you just like watching the channel because you have a good time, it's an easy thing to do to push this content out to more people, and it helps the channel grow more than you probably realize. I used to be a lurker on YouTube. I say this all the time until I got a YouTube channel, or not even. As soon as I started working with people in YouTube, I realized that how important it was, and then I went to my YouTube, and I was like, I got to start liking and subscribing to all this stuff because we're trying to grow these people. But yeah. And, guys, shout out to everybody who subscribed to the BitLab Academy YouTube channel yesterday. As you guys know, Kelly, a lot of you guys know Kelly. You guys are already part of his community as well. But thank you guys, anyone who subbed to his channel yesterday. We were able to get him over 9K. Super, super cool. We love Kelly. He works super hard, and he deserves it. So I really do appreciate you guys for showing support to Kelly. And if you haven't already, go sub to his channel. He hit 9K yesterday. Let's try to push him up to 10. Let's go. Spread the love, baby. Shout out to TT, what is going on? TT said, thank you, Frankie, my brother. Shout out to TC, BBC Red. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate you hanging out here. Shout out to Wayne C. Said, Frankie, the best for TA. Learned so much from the past year and still learning. Let's go. Shout out to you, my man. Let's see. Shout out to James V. Let's go. Shout out to Bro Tip. Said, Frankie, you're very talented and generous. I appreciate that so much, Bro Tip. I really do. But, bro, you forgot best hair in the game. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Oh, he's my hair. Yo, I didn't know that was going to happen. I forgot that. I thought my hair was going to be all messy. But no, it's pristine under this hat, guys. You can't catch me lacking with the hair gel. You guys know I'm putting that cement in my hair every single day. Just straight on. Just rock solid. All right, we got 463 likes. Let's give him an extra spin here. Let's go. Wearing my Bing Bong shirt today. Let's go. Shout out to Jessica. Let's go. Always repping the Candle Mafia. Shout out to Crypto Totoro. Totoro, I don't know if you're in here, but I didn't forget that thing that you gave me yesterday. I remembered it this time, but I forgot the things that go inside of it. So tomorrow, if I can get those things, Tony D, let's make sure we get some AAA batteries. Let's make sure we get some AAA batteries so we can shout out Crypto Totoro for gifting us one of the most amazing things we've ever gotten gifted on this channel. And we might be able to get rid of something that we absolutely hate on this channel. I don't want to point any fingers, but I don't know. There's something on this channel that we've almost broke a few times, and I don't know. But Bailey Armstrong said, Frankie's hair stay bricked up for real. Let's go. Shout out to Bailey. Everybody's got those fresh cuts. on the BitBoy Crypto channel as well. Tim, Ben, everybody got the fresh cuts from our New York barber that we flew in, and it's just so funny. Oh my God, guys, I'm spinning this wheel a couple more times. How did we get 1 out of 4? 1 out of 5. That's not good enough for me. We're gonna spin that again. But yeah, Tony D's barber came in from New York to give us those fresh New York haircuts, and everybody just walks around the office just swagged up. It was fire. All right, here we go. Give him a giveaway. Let's go. There we go. Let's go, baby. Bing bong. We got 1, 2, 3 giveaways out of 7. Not the best hit rate, but I had to get those extra spins in for you, even though we didn't hit the goal. But hey, I think that might be why we don't really get the like goal. It's because you guys know I'm just going to give you the extra spins anyway. But, guys, with all that being said, shout out to Wick589. He says, my wife said, yeah, I need some more batteries, too, for mine. Oh, Totoro, you're sending these things all over the place? That's wild. Shout out to Wick. But, guys, that's all the time I've got for well, would you look at that? Shout out to Tony D. Yeah, I did remember, and I was like, we don't have batteries. I'm like, unbelievable. But, guys, with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Hit me with a like on the way out if you guys found value in this show. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, as my chair just continues to sink down. I don't know why this happens. But, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATIB, or ATB, some of you guys know it as. Shout out to my boy Deezy. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. I hate when this happens. Where's the button? Ah! Bing bong!
AMRB's what we got.
Yeah, time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was being and rugged. Hushing, I'm planning on pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut. Cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse of who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch. That's saying enough. It's time to receive all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams. Everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf. What's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited. I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up. Ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't son to believe in and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out thin air, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, or present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time if a dollar's a cut of eyes. They get X'd out for they had the potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang all out. Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
Shout out to Steve. Am I still sinking? Shout out to Steve. I don't know where Steve went. Maybe Steve's in here today. But we got a Steve. And that's what the guy's calling for in the song. I don't know if you guys remember. Shout out to Steve. That's what he says. But I haven't seen Steve since we met him or was talking to him in chat. Guys, hashtag where's Steve? Find Steve. Bring him back to the channel. so we can play the song for him again. Shout out to Steve. Hasta pasta. Bing bong.
Here we go.
Captain Kirk, Date Digital is not going to be very happy with you, but you are the mama of the Candle Mafia, so when you make requests for songs, we got to play them. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Bing bong.